Is Return to Zork a bizarre detour or a textbook classic? Trick question. It's a pork barrel full of both. Equal parts vintage Infocom whimsy and early 90s multimedia hubris, like strapping a jet engine to a typewriter just to ask, paper jam. Underrated or overrated? Yes, simultaneously, depending on whether your first encounter came via a free AOL demo, underrated epiphany, or via abandonware in 2025 when you bounced off the interface faster than a GRU in a tanning bed, overrated. Congrats on the rage quit. And is it fundamental or skippable now that your GOG backlog could double as a UNESCO archive? That depends on your tolerance for full motion ham acting, node-based navigation, and a drunk farmer who offers his entire personality in a single meme-worthy line. Want some rye? Course you do. If your inner child cackles at deadpan absurdity, grab the flask, mind the pit, and follow me back into the great underground empire. Rendered here in grainy video, dithering shadows, and a UI that moonlights as a Rube Goldberg machine. Historical context rewind to 1993, the year of CD-ROM overconfidence. PC magazines bulged with ads for Myst, The Seventh Guest, and multimedia encyclopedias. Imagine Wikipedia on laser-etched coasters. Activision, freshly resuscitated from near bankruptcy, spotted an opportunity, dust off the Infocom vault, graphed video onto text adventures, and surfed the new optical wave. They licensed the Zork name. Infocom itself had been dormant since 1989, and tapped Doug Barnett as lead designer, not producer, to answer one mandate. Make Zork for the FMV generation. Ship by Christmas. Shareholders demand shiny discs under the tree. Development became a hybrid circus. Live actors against green screens. Background stills photographed at California's Calico Ghost Town and Big Sur Redwoods. A proprietary engine that crammed QuickTime into claustrophobic 640 by 480 boxes. Owners of the 12 floppy edition received a voice-free build, leading to community claims that one late game puzzle, solved by recognizing a sound cue, was effectively impossible without the CD's audio. Official docs never confirmed the bug. Players on Usenet swapped workarounds involving DOS beeps and pure guesswork. My first brush with Return to Zork came at a software etc. kiosk looping the intro. Lightning over the Valley of the Sparrows, a mailbox that explodes if opened incorrectly, classic Infocom wink, and a disembodied narrator greeting, "You are standing in an open field." The narrator remains officially uncredited. Rumor pins it on a Mid-Atlantic radio actor, but nobody's produced pay stubs. I blew a semester's textbook fund on the big box edition, map, Zorkian numerology guide, and underground journal, and spent finals week clicking on every shrub just in case it was secretly a teleport. The adventure game market was in flux. LucasArts' Day of the Tentacle had proved point-and-click comedy could be dangerously slick. Sierra's Gabriel Knight, same Christmas season, flaunted name-brand voice talent. Activision opted for full-motion spectacle, betting that real faces would outshine hand-drawn sprites. In hindsight, that was like betting Laserdisc would outsell VHS. Ballsy, briefly dazzling, ultimately buried by Myst's cleaner aesthetic. Mechanics Return to Zork swaps Infocom's Pro's parser for slideshow nodes. Click a hotspot, glide to a new viewpoint, click again, watch a postage stamp clip of a vulture blinking. Navigation feels like early Google Street View if Google ran on dial-up and had a prankster QA lead. Verbs live in icons. Take, talk, use, open, and the right-click inventory pops up like a cluttered apothecary shelf. Early on, you snag a Polaroid camera, snap anything, and certain NPCs react, sometimes with helpful hints, sometimes by confiscating the evidence. Somewhere, a design doc probably called it contextual dialogue, though half the cast responds like they've never seen a camera, or basic hygiene. Puzzle sampling, age wine by leaving a jug on Shanbar's porch until in-game midnight. Your system clock can skew the timer. Coax a whale taxi by flute solo and then survive a musical Simon sequence. Accidentally shatter a single instance crystal and soft lock your save 17 clicks later. The game's fragility birthed a fan mantra: save early, save often, long before Dark Souls minted its get good. Our running absurdity thread is Booze Miller, the rye-swilling farmer. Approach his porch and he bellows, "Want some rye? Course you do." Accept and you wake up robbed. Refuse and he guilt shames you. The genuine solution involves brewing him fresh rye. A moral about temperance or just slapstick. Either way, Booze's catchphrase outlived every magazine ad campaign. 30 years later, it's still shorthand for FMV cheese. Combat is AWOL, but item misuse can deliver corpse screens worthy of Sierra's worst. Feed a dog poison, torch a barn, or gift fireworks to a vulture. Results range from snarky epitaphs to game over. Restore? You'll need that restore key. Return to Zork as a connoisseur of irreversible failure states. Audiovisuals were bleeding edge for 1993. Backgrounds shimmer in 256 color dithering. Actors sport green screen halos. The orchestral soundtrack, penned by Nathan Wang with additional music by Teri Christian, mixes flute motifs with ominous bass stabs that still slap through Sound Blaster emulation. Earlier drafts of this article credited Mark Morgan. He actually scored Zork Nemesis 3 years later. File under timeline confusion corrected. Mini rant time. Pixel Hunt hotspots are small enough to copyright. Critics roasted them in 1993, but context matters. After a decade of command lines, we greeted any clickable world like a miracle. Yes, a certain rope hides in 3 square pixels of shadow, but consider it a rite of initiation, like deciphering basic peaks or blowing on NS cartridges. Esoteric trivia, now clearly flagged rumor. Some fans claim a Japanese Laserdisc kiosk featured reshot FMV clips with local actors, nicknamed Zork Gaiden. No concrete proof has surfaced, neither marketplace listings nor archival footage. Treat it as headcanon until someone drags the disc from an Akihabara drawer. Legacy and influence. Return to Zork reportedly cleared 600,000 copies its first year, blockbuster numbers for an adventure, and proved dormant parser IPs could survive the CD age. Its commercial victory funded Zork Nemesis, 1996, and Zork Grand Inquisitor, 1997, each refining the formula. Nemesis chased grim alchemy with CGI sets. Grand Inquisitor doubled down on comedy, jettisoning live-action composites for pre-rendered bravado. Design influenced surfaces in unexpected corners. The Polaroid camera prefigured the show item.get commentary loop later embedded in Gabriel Knight 3's SIDNEY database, and, by spiritual extension, Phoenix Wright's evidence-peppered cross-examinations. The game's gleeful allowance for dead ends nudged later designers to adopt friendlier autosaves, or contrarily, to embrace cruelty a la pathologic, and copywriters keep mining Booze Miller. Indie adventure Dropsy hides an achievement called Want Some Pie. Course you do. If you know, you know. Why niche now? FMV's uncanny resin clings to it. Myst eclipsed its puzzle box prestige months later, and modern audiences raised on context-sensitive hotspots blanch at its fragile state machine. Add the fact that succeeding Zork titles outperformed it artistically, and Return to Zork lives chiefly in meme quotes and big box collector shrines. Still, it's resurrected on GOG, DOS box friendly, and one of the few games whose manual suggests you drink in-game beverages responsibly. Unsubstantiated lore note, Design Folklore claims QA logged 87 distinct ways to render the game unwinnable, later pitched to Guinness. No affidavit, no record entry. Chalk it up to QA gallows humor. Believe it if you like. Zorkians prosper on tall tales. Closing paragraph plus score. And so, Polaroid crammed, flask emptied, mailbox prudently left unopened, we leave the grainy valley. Return to Zork isn't LucasArts slick or Myst serene. It's the eccentric uncle of 90s adventures. Slightly tipsy, unpredictably brilliant, happy to smash your only crystal key just to watch you reload. Its willingness to weld Infocom lore onto CD-ROM bravado still commands respect, even as its FMV seams show like fraying theater costumes. Score, 8.0 out of 10. 2 points shaved for pixel hunts and irreversible soft locks. 8 awarded for atmosphere, pioneering bravado, Wang and Christian's orchestral earworms, and of course, Booze Miller's immortal rye. Because sometimes the best adventures aren't the ones that fix your problems. They're the ones that hand you a smashed crystal, shrug, and say, "Course y'all start over, right?"
a strategist. You have to teach me the finer points of Survivor.